I'm very lucky to have a wonderful brother who's a better Catholic than I am, who's raising some wonderful children with his very beautiful and very faithful wife. They're a great family. I love them a bunch. Well, just this week, I heard that my 6-year-old niece, Maggie, who's in a Catholic school, gave us all a great lesson on the Ten Commandments and God's love. Now, many of us, when we think about the Ten Commandments, we think about them as restrictive, as if God, this big old meanie, wants us to not have any fun, right? That we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this, we can't do that, and oh, isn't it horrible? Well, my niece Maggie, just at 6 years old, cuts right through that, okay? So she's in her little Catholic school, and they're introducing them for the first time to the Ten Commandments. Now, the teacher sent this later as an email to my brother and his wife, and that's how I heard about it. So the teacher, very concerned, wanting to make sure that her little kids don't get too scared by some of the things that are talked about in the Ten Commandments, so she takes some time afterwards to say, well, you know, children, how does that make you feel? You know, how is that making you feel? How's that affecting you? And my little niece, Maggie, she just says, I'm happy. Oh, why are you happy, Maggie? She says, I'm happy because God cares enough to take care of me. God loves me enough to take care of me. And she's right. The Ten Commandments are a sign of God's love. You only give guidance like that to people you love. You seek to protect those you love. And Maggie, just at 6 years old, could see that with her own little innocent eyes. So let's maybe think about the Ten Commandments in that way. Think about the Ten Commandments in terms of God's desire to love and protect us. That God loves marriage enough that he wants to protect marriage. That God loves the truth enough that he wants to protect the truth from lies. That God loves human life enough to protect it from violence when it's innocent. All these ways we can think about the Ten Commandments in this regard. And yes, even the first three, to not have false idols, to not profane the name of the Lord, to keep holy his day. These are meant out of love for us as well, that we don't put false goods forward in our life. So thank you, Maggie. Thank you for your gift of love to us, to tell us about understanding God's Ten Commandments. Now, we should also think about this with the Ten Commandments in terms of how we prepare for confession. When we prepare for confession, it's not that, oh, I want to do these things, but the church says I can't, God says I can't, humdrum. No, we should think about them. We should actively cultivate in our mind the attitude that, no, I refuse God's love. By choosing to sin, by choosing my own judgment, by choosing to do things my way, I refuse God's love and I've sinned in that regard, by refusing his approach to me, by refusing his desire to come near to me. This helps us to turn the idea of sin on its head. Instead of I got caught on doing something, no, rather, I'm the one who admits that I didn't do what I could. I didn't do what I should have done to love my Lord, to love my neighbor, to love the goodness that he's created, to receive his love for me. And if I sin against someone else or someone sins against me, I refuse God's love for them, and I need to make reparation for that. And if someone else has sinned against me, well then they've refused God's love for me and themselves. And I need to pray for some healing from that maybe, that God would heal the things that they've done against me. In all these ways, we get to see the Ten Commandments in a new light, to see the Ten Commandments as God's gift of love for us. And let's not sin. Let's not refuse his love. Let's rejoice and be happy, like my little niece, that we have a Father who loves us so much to tell us how he wants us to live and how to be safe and happy. I'm Father Andrew Dickinson at the Pius XII Catholic Newman Center. God bless you. I love you. Have a great week.